Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to another Crypto Maniacs podcast. And guess what day it is today, Task? It's the 4th of July. Happy 4th to all the Americans. You're probably going to listen to this on the 5th, but if you're here live and you're from the great, good old US of A, happy 4th, sir. You don't care. No.
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. That's what I said today. A lot of people were in the CTP Discord saying, happy 4th. And I said, well, happy Tuesday to, all of us.
Well, you had your holiday, what, the 1st, is it?
Yes. Bobby Bonilla Day is our.
so Bobby Bonilla Day is a holiday in Canada.
Yes.
I didn't know he was Canadian.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Joey Votto is, but I didn't know Bonilla was.
Yes, Eliana says happy Tuesday as well. And we got Tokenized, we got Best Start.
It might be Wednesday for her.
No, she's in Venezuela. It's the same time zone. It's East Coast, isn't it? Or Central?
I thought she was in Portugal.
Oh, Eliana. Yeah. No, I thought you meant Sunseeker. Sorry, Sunseeker.
No, Eliana.
Eliana, yeah, it's midnight over there, 1 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
Anyways. How you doing, man? Yeah, okay? You having a exciting time or
Yeah. It's
yeah.
Cal took my counter button, but the counter away from me.
I saw that. How are you surviving today without numbers?
I still have the edit button. I worked on Leo Glossary. I actually did extend a big extension of a couple pages. One of them being high power, but yeah, it's a bummer without that. But I mean, it's I guess they're doing some updates to the ad revenue program and figuring out the ads and the counters and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I just work here too, man. I had just a crazy day today, but we won't get into that because what's crazier is all of the amazing questions and feedback we got from the Threadcast today that you
you know why that is? It's because I didn't put a fucking picture on it.
Dude, why don't you're just allergic?
Forget, man. I'm not too bright.
No, but this is if you want to
keep
the engagement.
Tuesday and Thursday morning, you should send me a DM and say, put the picture on the Threadcast. Then you got about a 25% chance that I'll remember.
So it's like 0% now, 25 if I send you the
low single digits at the moment, I would say. Not zero, but low single digits.
That's perfect, man. But yeah, we do have a bunch of questions from the audience, which is fantastic. But just a reminder for everyone listening in, this Thursday, not Tuesday. This is Tuesday. Thursday, we've got Hive Cuba. Manu Photos is here with us, so that will be exciting to see his updates, what's going on with him, and the entire Hive Cuba community as well. So stay tuned for that. But are you ready, man? Do you want to just not even like mess around, just dive into people's questions? And
sure.
Yeah, I should. I've got to load it up and put it into night mode because people are very finicky about that, and they have to have it in night mode. I sure, yeah. Hey, the ads are back. Look at that.
Yeah, the ads were there. There was the counter that wasn't working.
Well, I never saw the ads all day. It was Coinzilla place your ad here banner.
Oh, well, they ran out. I guess the Google ads isn't in the rotation. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Team night mode, Eliana said. I don't know. I'm just this is harder for me to read. I don't know why. It just doesn't doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyways, let's dive in, shall we? Tokenized, anything on your mind other than new drinks? I did not open this up to have a look, but there you go. Okay, so he says he's got some questions, so I did see that. Here, look, there's the image. There's the image.
He admitted it. It got in there.
Yeah.
It's a pretty one. I admit it.
This exact same colors, the orange of Leo.
I think personally, John, that would look better in a white against a white background. But what do I know? Better in day mode.
Yeah, I agree. Sunseeker says it will happen any day. When I said, you hate using images. So
No, I don't mind using images. I just don't remember to use the image. So
right.
maybe this public undressing that I am enduring over the image will motivate me to remember.
Yes.
Probably not, but maybe.
Yeah. I think we need to keep reminding him. So guys, this is our mission.
Yes, make it a
week.
community effort. Remind task of the image on the next Threadcast.
Yeah. John Tim says, are we not allowed to call Django Trucker John anymore? Soon.
I said you can call him whatever you want. I'm not going to stop it. I mean, Trucker John is about as nice as it gets.
I'm okay with that, man. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that name, Trucker John. I just need the hat. I only got baseball hats. I need a trucker hat. They don't fit my head. I got a huge head. They don't fit my head properly. Like it's the last button on the anyways. John Timms with a question. If you can earn Leo by posting via Leo Finance communities, can you earn Leo by using the Leo Finance tag for non-financial posts on other front ends? It's kind of frowned upon, right? Like
yeah, because then you're tag spamming. You're putting something in Leo. I mean, that's like using STEM for, a photography post,
right? Music or something.
Yeah, music. It's that's not what the community is focused upon.
Right. Like Threads. See, because Threads is different. Because Threads is all encompassing, but like Leo Finance specifically for the Leo token.
Yeah.
It's finance.
Yeah. Now, you can use Leo Finance and go into different communities now. And if there's, a photography community, and post your photography through there, the same as you do on PT. But, you don't use the Leo tag. You use photography or whatever.
John Timms also wants to know, when will the Threads view counter come back?
Got me, man. It was stolen. It was hijacked.
Stolen by Cal. Poor
somebody.
Task. Poor Task.
I had nothing to do with it. I that's all I know.
Tokenized has brought the audience down to it was a PG, now it's a rated R. No.
Well, he give him a break. He's drunk.
Yeah, he's got the Heineken though, so at least he's got the good beer, the good stuff.
Well, he was talking about some creamy thing that he got. He's trying a new drink. He's getting, of all the things in the world to try, this guy has intention on the new drink.
Nifty said
it opens his mind up for more information, though. So
he's a deep thinker. He's definitely.
I guess so. He's a friend of the show, so that just shows you how he probably needs some psychological counseling.
After these shows, everyone does. So if you're listening to this, we do have a help phone number to appear after the show for counseling and assistance in coming off the ledge. Nifty says I just have 2 questions, but then he asked 3. Kind of, sort of. So hot dogs or burgers? Because it's the July 4th. What is your pick? So
burgers.
Burgers, right?
Yep.
So are you into the Joey Chestnut Nathan's hot dog eating competition?
No.
He won again today, apparently, right?
No, I don't even know who Joey Chestnut is.
Joey Jaws, man? Really?
I don't know.
No. Really? He's the 18-time champion of the Nathan's hot dog eating competition that happens July 4th every year.
I can't even tell you who the MVP of the NBA was. How the hell am I going to know the 18-time hot dog eating champion?
Yeah. Okay, that's true. It was Jokic, wasn't it?
I do know who Nathan's is.
Yes. Good quality hot dogs, I'm guessing. I don't know. We don't get them up here. We're sheltered here in Canada. But Nifty brings it down to another level, just like Tokenized did. Will you subscribe to my Only Leos when I drop the announcement?
Is that the only thing you're going to be dropping is an announcement? Then that's not a very good Only Leos account. You need to drop a lot more. We're going to need some marketing materials, some pictures, some teasers, Nifty, maybe some short videos.
Yeah, man. Dude, I'm not against that. Like product placement on my shirts or my hats, or if I got a mug
Well,
or
I don't know if
something.
you want. I don't know if you want what Nifty has in
No,
mind
not
for your
that. No,
T-shirt, but
definitely.
okay.
We're talking about Nathan's hot dogs. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
you want
yeah.
some hot dogs on your chest?
Wow, we have really gone downhill, and it's only 10 minutes into the show.
Yeah, Eliana is asking for feet.
Dude, you guys are on point today. Like, just
Well, listen, Eliana talks about like organ harvesting all the time, so feet is kind of like tame for her. Good God.
her and I went and did our daily Leo purchases today, so we're
How many did
okay.
you purchase?
I get my 100 every day, man. Like I don't try to beat you with your 222 that you got today.
I got 171 and 222. So that was what, 221 and 171, something like that. I'm just shy of 400 a day, but I don't do it every day. So
Dude, I dollar cost average because I'm too much of a
dollar cost
not,
average. Leo's a freaking stable coin, doesn't move.
True, it is. What is it? 8.3?
8.3.
8.3. It's 8.3.
Every time you type in Leo, it says 8.3.
8.3. Yeah, Leo the stable coin. I love it. Sunseeker is up. She got a question. Said, I heard that in Ecuador it is illegal and you can go to jail if you do transactions in real life with crypto, like purchasing in the stores. Is the freedom crypto offers only virtual? That's a really good question. Now, go ahead. I think I know what you're going to say, but let's hear task.
It's what is virtual versus what is not. I mean, you look at corporations and people want to say a business and they point to a building. No, it's a building. So, where does a business reside? I understand where the question's coming from with Ecuador, and if you're dealing in the real world, and you have a shop or something like that accepts crypto, then like anything else, you are subject to the laws of that nation and being shut down. Uh, just like if you deal in drugs or if you deal in guns or if you deal in, whatever it is that is against the law, or if you're not adhering to the law. So the difference with virtual, with the digital realm, is where does the merchant reside? If John throws up an online store, the online store is housed wherever that server is housed, where he is physically is secondary.
Right.
Now, if he has a company and the company's registered in Canada, that's a different story. But so, and it's a lot harder when you have an online store that's just tied to a company name that, is, I don't know, in the Caymans or something like that. And that's where it's registered. So now you're just chasing your tail if you're trying to stop it. These are different things, but is the freedom of crypto lessened in the physical world? No, because I think those countries that open themselves up to it, like Venezuela, so far the Venezuelan government is leaving crypto alone. They're probably going to do a hell of a lot to improve their economy. So it's Ecuador is not surprising because they're very much tied to the U.S. and we know the U.S. has an anti-crypto stance.
It's great. July 4th too. Don't forget. Yay, America. Tokenized. Hello, Maniacs. This is a question. This is an actual question. It's not beer or feet related or so this is good. We're improving.
I don't think tokenized is into feet.
No, that's just Nifty and Cal.
We know Cal's a closet feet person. He won't come out in a minute, but it's written all over his face.
Definitely. Tokenized. Hello, Maniacs. Do you guys think that at some point people will stop creating thousands of new tokens and just focus on the more established ones? Or is there a never-ending number of projects? Dude, this is human nature. Like, Why work on something that's established when I can launch something new and get people really excited about new? People like shiny objects. Whatever it's new, their attention is like goldfish. It goes to the new thing. It'll never end. There'll always be something new. You'd love to see established programs and tokens continue to be developed and worked on. But like, look at, and I'm not trying to pick on any tokens here, but there was a certain token, let's say, that came from the same DNA of Hive and Steam and BitShares. You'll know the token I'm talking about. The owner of it never really developed it. The creator, excuse me, just kept promising new things. Here, we're going to do this new thing, then this new thing, never developing what they had. New thing to new thing to new thing to new thing. It's human nature. I don't know what it is. You know what? I'm not listen, the Bitcoin maxis, whatever. I'm going to give them a little bit of kudos. At least they stick to things. They're not trying to launch something new every second day.
They don't launch anything at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Bitcoin hasn't changed but twice
12
in
years, right?
Years.
Is it 12 years now? Yeah.
Well, I take a different view of things, tokenized. Yes, there's going to be 1 million tokens because there's going to be 1 million projects. If you start a gambling site, why wouldn't you have your own token? If you started a bird watching community, why wouldn't you have your own token? When you say established tokens, what the fuck does that mean? I mean, I don't understand. Are you talking about blockchain or are you talking layer 2? You know, are you saying that Leo shouldn't have had a token and should not have gone down that road and just lived with Hive? We've had people on the show that was their idea, and I think it's going to be a failure. I think at the end of the day, you need your own token, especially if you're going to do some things such as Leo. If you're building a project and you're creating an economy around your project by tokenizing it, now you have an economy. And so why wouldn't people do that? Now, I think for the most part, these are going to be value capture. They're going to capture the social engagement, interaction layer. There will be some commerce in communities, but I think when you start to look at the bigger communities, they will obviously have to gravitate towards some stable coins because, let's be honest, you really can't use a token as a medium of exchange if it has, a 5 or 12 or 15% volatility rate. I mean, if I send, John payment, let's say $20 in token ABC, and, he's in a different part of the world, he's asleep right now. And when he wakes up, the price of his token went down 15%. Now, all of a sudden, that $20 purchase is $17. If he only had $2 profit margin, 10%, he just lost money on that deal. That's why price stability is so important when you're talking about medium of exchange. But you look at the world as it is now, we have basically 2 assets out there: debt, which debt's an asset if you buy the debt, and equity. And what about the social layer? What about the fan layer? You have, the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are owned by somebody. That's the equity. What do the fans get? Nothing. They get zero. What is their fandom worth? To the Buffalo Bills, it's worth a lot. To the NFL, it's worth a lot. To the fans themselves, it's worth nothing. It's zero. It's a social layer that they get no financial benefit from. It's no different than Twitter. It's no different than Facebook. It's no different than YouTube. YouTube's a little different because they do reward some content creators. But for the most part, you support YouTube. Unless you own Google stock, you're not doing anything for your own pocketbook. And that's what tokenization does. It allows us to be Lions. It would allow us to be Bills fans. It would allow us to be Tesla fans. It would allow us to be Disney fans. It would allow us to be, whatever fans, basket weaving fans, bird watching fans, and actually monetize what we're doing based upon that community, based upon that platform, based upon that application. And, sports is the ideal arena because, sports is very much like social media where there's people deriving financial benefit from the network effect of the fans, but the fans don't financially benefit whatsoever. They buy the merchandise, they go to the games, they watch the games, they get the, NFL subscription or the NBA subscription or whatever they do, but they get zero financial benefit out of the billions and billions of dollars generated off their collective fandom.
Like Green Bay Packers owners, they don't get anything, right? They don't. They just
No,
get
the stock
share,
there
right?
is symbolic, so you just
Right.
got a stock certificate. So
Right.
that's not even the case. But let's take. I think the best example of this, John. Think of the Trekkies. Star Trek fans. And they're a loyal bunch. Granted, some of them are a little over the edge, but anyway, they take their Star Trek seriously,
Yeah.
and they've really made this franchise over 50 plus years into something astounding, and yet they've really got nothing for it. They go to conferences and conventions and do their things and all this other stuff. Why couldn't you socialize or tokenize, Fast and Furious, The Office, Indiana Jones, Star Trek, Star Wars, all these different franchises? Those could be tokenized where, there is a Trekkie token and it ends up having some value based upon whatever the community determines. So that's the advantage I see to tokenization. It's not, oh boy, somebody's just bringing out another token. Yeah, a lot of them are tied to projects that will never go anywhere because, like John was saying, nobody's doing anything with it.
Yeah.
Without development, you're probably not going anywhere because guess what? There is a technical side to this stuff where you need to build websites, you need to update stuff, you need to build new things, and without the development, you see it on Hive. You see these projects that stall for years.
Good point. Jay Fang's up. He's got a couple questions. How is the Leo glossary going now? Are there other parts that tasks delegated out still being worked on?
Nobody else is doing it but me right now. And as I said, I did two big extensions today, adding to it. I posted, one page that was low on Google, but somebody did find it. So I sent a bunch of people from Leo Glossary or Leo Finance over on Threads to click through. Tokenize was one of them. And so, we're doing the little things to make it up. The problem was it was dead for so long, Jay Fang. And if you don't keep updating this stuff, it's good that the pages get older and they age. The problem is if you're not updating it, Google is just bouncing around. The spiders bounce around at the same pages and not seeing any changes, and they don't like that. So, hopefully now that, I'm starting the rewrites, add more links, then, the next time that the spider goes through, all of a sudden it sees, a couple more links to follow, and it's like, oh, this is a little different.
There you go. Good update. He also wants to know, what do you think about the Hive Engagement League stopping? I saw that note by ABH today.
I didn't see it.
He's been running this thing for years.
Yeah.
And he made the announcement. He just said stopping it. And he pulled a lot of data, right? I mean, I'm sure that didn't take him a minute every week to do. And he'd do it every Sunday, right? And it was just detailed, tons of, and he had his own little formula that he used with the amount of comments, the length of the comment. He threw everything into this mixer and spit out these numbers. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it wasn't like a 2-second job. So I guess he just got burnt out from it. I'm guessing he didn't elaborate on the post, and I didn't go through all the comments, but what do you think about that stopping then?
I mean, it's sad because, like you said, it's something that's been around for
right, years.
6 years at least. The 6 years I've been on Hive, I think it's been going. I don't know how active he is on the site anymore on the chain. I don't know, obviously, his life circumstances. Like you said, it could take a little bit of time. Maybe he's just burnt out. Maybe he's leaving. Maybe he's just like, yeah, I'm not, this doesn't hold any interest to me anymore. I mean, there's a variety of reasons why somebody would opt to do that. It could be, John, something as simple as you said, burnout. I mean, anybody who's worked a project pretty much on their own, you know, and anybody listening, the fact is, most of you people listening don't do shit. And that's just the truth. And there's people who are taking and going above and beyond. And I can't speak for Asher and how much time he put in, but whatever the time, it was once a week. And maybe he had to run the data a couple times. I don't know. And he puts together this post, and okay, it's a form. Maybe it's just feeding the data in, but it's something that he had to do. He had to be consistent with it. He was consistent with it. And, what did he get out of it? I mean, he got a few upvotes maybe, but, this is a lesson. People need to step up. It really is that simple. And, John, I know you and I have talked about this. You've run projects for a couple decades online, and, the parental principle, I don't believe is 80-20 anymore. I think it's
95-5.
Maybe even 95-5. You're right. 95% of the people don't do shit but complain. I mean, that's the truth. 90% of people. It's 10% of the people doing all the lifting. And, it's like, and we see this. I see this with Hive Sucre. I don't know the names, but I know the names of the people who are doing shit. And I know there's 300 people, and there's only a handful of names I see doing shit. I mean, it's the same thing there. It's the same everywhere. And, people say, well, we need to do this. We need to do that. No, you need to step up and do something. It really is that simple. Look in the mirror and say, what am I going to do?
I think that's something I've dealt with over the decades of building businesses online. Is everyone's like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to write about. I don't know what to email about. I don't know what to market. It's like, that's some soul searching. That's some personal discovery you're going to have to find out. But here's the kicker: when I started this stuff, I learned from a very early point in my career that I was not going to be Mr. Developer, because I remember buying the PHP book and seeing it, opening it up, echo equals. I'm like, no, shut the book right away. So what I did is I focused on the things I knew I was good at. A lot of people hate writing articles. You and I love it. We enjoy it. We get a kick out of it. A lot of people hate writing emails. I loved writing emails. A lot of people hate getting in front of cameras. I love getting in front of the camera. You have to pick what you like doing and then see how you can contribute to the overall growth of the community. Maybe you're not going to be a developer. That's okay. I'm not. Task isn't. But we're content creators. We can create content. We talk about stuff. We enjoy this. So I think you gotta find what you're good at. And it doesn't need to be revolutionary at what you're good at. Focus on that. And that's adding value, I believe, to the bigger community.
Well, it's even more simple than that. There's a lot of shit that needs to be done in every community, every project, both online and offline. And I asked you a number of months ago, John Go, I asked you a very simple question. Yeah. I said, of all the time you've been running CTP, how many new people, and you're not hard to find. Hell, you're in the CTP room. You can DM you right out of the CTP server. You can DM you right out of Leo server, and you're in other servers. So you're not hard to find. You're on chain. You're on Threads.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I asked you, I said, in your time running CTP, how many new people have sent you DM and said, listen, you're running a project here. How can I help? What can I do? I will volunteer my time. How many? And you said none. Zero.
Well, one did, and now she's my business partner.
Well, yeah. Well, but it's
but like, no, I know what you mean. But like, CTP is a different beast because a lot of people join CTP because they're kind of new. And I'm not talking about the old school people that have been in CTP for years, and a lot of them have contributed
Well, I
over the
just use
years. But the
CTP
new
as an example because you had projects, you had things like listeners, you had other things that could use promotion, could use people talking about that were set up. And it's like, how many people even did that? And it's the same thing with Leo. It's the same thing with Leo Glossary. It's the same thing with, I'm sure, every single project on Hive. It's the same thing at every church, every volunteer organization, the PTA, all of it, the local carnival. It's all the same stuff. And it's like people refuse to step up and they wonder why they're not successful. It's that simple. And,
be the change you want to see, right?
Well, it's like, don't give me fucking excuses. And I mean, I'll focus it on Leo Glossary, and people say, "Oh, it's hard to do this." Shut the fuck up. I mean, really, I do probably 50 to 75 links a day in articles. I know how tough it is. I know how much time it takes. But you know what? I do it.
Right.
And I don't get anything extra out of it. So don't give me this bullshit excuse that it's too damn hard. Oh, I don't have time. I don't have this. I don't have that. Well, you know what? Then go away. Just go away and stay in your little bubble. And when you don't have anything in your wallet, and when you're not excelling, and when you're not succeeding, there's a reason for it.
It's funny you share this story. I remember. I've been doing these live streams, and for the record, Sunseeker said she would do the Leo Glossary Spanish version anytime you need her. So she said that. So there you go. I remember that too. I'm vouching for her. But over the years, we did online training and seminars and stuff like that. And one of the lessons that we always taught, and this is going before CTP even existed, is we said, how easy would it be for someone to jump online and say, listen, I'm going to become an expert in your business. I'm going to learn everything about it. Let's take listeners. I'm going to learn everything about listeners. I'm going to dive into it. I'm going to discover all the unique features of it. I'm going to create a little rebrandable PDF file that I'll give out to people. And I'll be building my list with it, for example, to give them a free little lead magnet. How many owners would sit there and go, no, I'm not going to tell anyone about this, you promoting my business for me? And no, I'm not going to do it. Or how many owners would be like, not only will I talk about it on the live streams, I'll promote your product because it's promoting my product. It was, dude, I can count them on one hand. Over 20 plus years of this advice going out, how many people actually took that? It's not just limited to Leo. Trust me.
No. I'm not saying.
No, I know.
This is anywhere. I spent 30 years in sales and marketing, and I had a manager, and he took a spin off the old Bill Parcells. I think was the one who was credited with saying, "You are what your record says you are," and there were many times where I sat in front of him, and he was my sales manager, or the years he was my sales manager, and I got an attaboy. I got a good job. There were other times where he's just looking at me saying, what went wrong? And I'm giving him all these reasons. And he's like, I don't give a shit. You didn't get the job done. There's a number. And see, that's the wonderful thing about sales is it's quantifiable. Right, there's a number you were supposed to hit. You didn't hit it. Why not? And it's like, doesn't matter the reason, excuses. You didn't make enough calls. You didn't do enough presentations. You didn't put out enough proposals. You didn't get into enough new accounts, and you didn't close and write enough business. It's just that simple. And you can make up all the excuses you want, but at the end of the day, you didn't perform. And that's, the brutal reality of it. And the best people, they, including him, he was probably one of the best in the history of that company. He almost always hit his numbers, almost always. And when he didn't, he was very upset with himself, not with everybody else, with himself, because he was the manager and he felt he should do it. And he ran, and I've articulated this in my writings too. he wasn't the owner of a company. He ran a branch, but he ran that branch and he approached that branch like he owned it. It was his, and he took possession of it in his mind, and he did whatever was necessary that needed to be done. And if it was driving the truck, if it was cleaning the toilets, if it was moving equipment, he did it. That is what it takes, and that's why he retired and had a nice nest egg when he retired and was able to travel around the United States and Canada because he was that successful. I mean, it's, he didn't have any excuses. And I learned that early on from the guy. Don't give me any fucking excuses. Yep. Because he knew what I was going to say before I was going to say it, because he had been in my position. He was a salesperson. So.
There you go. Best Start, friend of the show, says, what does it take to be a whale on second layer tokens? Well, that depends. I'm using the titles in Leo. And I know that's not an exact science because it has to do with vests and all sorts of funky stuff like that. But for Leo to be an apex lion, which is the top level on Threads and in their Discord, it's 150,000 Leo staked. So that's the number I use. I'm sure there's a science to it. And I'm guessing it depends on the token. It'll be different for each token, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I don't know if he's asking it literally. I don't know if he's asking what's whale status on.
Oh, you're saying what does it take to be like?
Yeah.
And
that's exactly what we said. Stop fucking around. Make this a business. I mean, seriously, right. Make this a business. Take ownership. I don't care what community you're involved in. I don't care what project it is. I don't care what you believe in and what you feel optimistic about. Find that and dive into it. And if it's CTP, fine. If it's Leo, fine. If it's CyberX, fine. If it's Splinterlands, fine. If it's STEM Geeks, fine. Whatever it is that you feel optimistic about, you believe in, go full tilt and put your ass on the line, not only with your money, but put your time, put your effort in, and say, I'm going to be a whale here. I'm going to be one of the top token holders in whatever it is, fill in the layer 2 project and go for it. And don't let anything stand in your way.
Yep. Make yourself a little uncomfortable. But I mean, I'm specifically going to mention John here in Best Start. I mean, he basically just jumped right into this stuff. I'm pretty sure he's got more Leo than I do, and I've been trying to build Leo up since 2020. So but John's always been like that. When he believes in something, he goes in, and he doesn't lollygag.
And you know what's interesting then, John Go? Look who's asking the question. The guy who's already 3/4 of the way there, or something, whatever his numbers are. And he's asking the question. Why? Because he wants more insight how to advance further. Take lesson, everybody.
53,000.
What's
Leo.
that?
He's got 53,000 Leo already.
Okay.
I mean, he's crushing it, right?
Yeah.
Crushing it.
I mean, that's a fine amount of Leo.
Heck yeah.
And you know what? He wants 100,000, I bet, or 150,000. And he's going to probably keep going for it. And good for him. If that's something he believes in, I mean, I can't fault him. I believe in Leo. Go for it. But see, that's what it takes. Guys like Best Start and women like Sunsika, who has impressed me the month or two I've seen her on Leo. These are the people who stand out because they don't take any bullshit, and
there's no excuses. Right. No excuses. I love it. And that's what we attract here at the Cryptomaniacs podcast. Action takers.
I think we attract fleas, but anyway, I should have showered this month. But anyway, it's only the 5th. It's only the 4th.
Yeah, true. Tokenize got a really good one here. What do you think about the idea of having subscriptions for premium content on Hive? Do you think that would catch on, or people on Hive wouldn't pay for content? Well, I'll tell you this. Trying to sell things to people on Hive can be a challenge. Not all the time. Sometimes they go all in. Look at Splinterlands. People lost their mind. Games seem to do really good. So if you had a game and you offered premium call, like, you know who I could see would really crush it with this model? Friend of the show, Bulldog. Bulldog would do fantastic with something like this because he creates content and is a thought leader in the Splinterlands community. He was their community manager. He could easily charge for and I think he does for on YouTube, but on Hive he could do it, and you know that there's savage fans of Splinterlands on Hive. So people like that could tap in really easily, I think. But it's still this is the thing. Just like you said, Task, you got to make yourself marketable. And I don't mean like get a marketing plan. You need to be remarkable. Seth Godin called it being the purple cow. You need to stick out. If you're sticking out enough and people find value in what you're offering, they will pay you for it. Guaranteed. They will pay you for it. But that doesn't come to them. It's not, oh, blame them because they're not going to pay. No, it's what are you putting out in the market? Is it valuable enough? Is it unique enough? Is it remarkable enough that people will be willing to invest in you? That's the challenge. Not just business. Like, we're all business people. And I'm not just talking people with an online business. I'm talking your brand on the blockchain is your business, like you've said for years. So what can you do to make yourself stick out? I think you do that. Premium content is a no-brainer. Subscription model for creators. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is in relation to my article that I wrote this morning, but subscription companies, publicly traded companies that have subscriptions, have a market cap of about $14 trillion. And the subscription model, you look at people between streaming, Netflix, their NFL package, Amazon Prime, Spotify, hell, your freaking insurance is a subscription model. Every month you get every 3 months you get your health insurance or your car insurance. Yeah. And they're worth on valuation 8 times more than the same revenues, a company doing the same revenues, but without the subscription. So crypto has to get into this. The problem is we don't have a solution. Gym memberships are the prime example. People sign up for gym memberships and pay for them for 20 years. Why? Because it's only like $8 a month, and it keeps hitting on their credit card. We don't have anything like that really in crypto, somebody has to address this, and I don't know how you do it. I mean, we got recurrent payments, but there's no credit tied to it, so you have to have that money liquid in your account when the recurrent payment goes. I don't know if you can do this with some type of smart contract. Somebody's going to figure it out. And then you can have subscriptions using crypto, and I think that'll be huge. Now, to answer the question, I'll just echo what John said. Some will be able to monetize content, some will not. It all comes down to the brand. And yes, I have said for years, your Hive account is a business. This is monetization. You better treat it as such. And most people, from what I see, do not treat it as a business. So their brand is for shit because they're not even tended to it.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, speaking personally, my greatest success online was always through subscription models. And I remember doing the math, and it was like I wasn't charging people hundreds of dollars. It was $6.97 a month. I just had hundreds of them. So it adds up, and that's the Netflix model. That's, like you said, the car insurance model. That's the mortgage model even. I mean, it's literally, it's set up for people to win. So, hello, Neo. Welcome. Great question, though, Tokenized. I'm very interested to see how that works. And he follows it up with, do you think we will ever get a mobile-focused messenger app similar to Telegram or WhatsApp that runs on the blockchain?
No. Why would you? I mean, seriously, I think what's going to end up happening is the front ends will integrate some type of, private messaging, kind of like Peak D did. And I know it hasn't taken off. Right. But, the idea, I mean, the idea of like Telegram on the blockchain makes absolutely no sense to me, because a lot of that stuff, if you're doing DM stuff, you don't want it on the blockchain. And the other stuff, I mean, you can do that with Threads. John and I have had conversation on Threads. Tokenize, you and I have had conversations on Threads. I mean, it's not that hard to do if you want to talk general purpose, non-private stuff. I mean, hell, you can do it right on Threads. And that's on the blockchain. Does it have to be? No. Is there a point to having it on the blockchain? No. I think what's going to end up happening is, as this idea of community starts to spread out, the features will be in each community. So they'll have their own messaging within, the bird watching community.
Right. There you go. So we have one more question directly from Nifty, and then I want to open up a can of worms with you, sir. So let's dive into Nifty's question first. He actually did say 69 comments and he'll power up 420, Leo. So we're at 40 comments right now. So 29 comments to go in the Threadcast. Do you think at some point we have already encountered aliens? If so, how long ago? And do they secretly run our government bodies? Follow-up, is Mark Zuckerberg in charge?
Well, Mark Zuckerberg, certainly, if you do buy into the reptilian philosophy, you could see the evolution. Yes. I don't know. I don't know if they're aliens. They're psychopaths who are running the governments or behind the governments. I can tell you that they're total sociopaths and psychopaths. But aliens, I don't know. Yeah, that you'll have to tune into Cryptoholics on Thursday.
And our Star Trek edition.
Yes. I'm sure Nifty will be willing to give you his opinion on air on that broadcast, and him and Eric will dive deep into the aliens. That's right up their alley.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to open it up. Here we go. Are you ready for this, sir? It was not asked.
What did Neo write?
Oh, here, I'll put it right up in the chat there. I've recently seen a video of a guy who made a car wash service with subscriptions and made $2 billion so far. So subscriptions like Netflix model definitely works. Yeah, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people taking the subscription model to clothing, where you pay like $300 a month and they send you different outfits. I mean, to cosmetics, to all different types of things. So yeah, it's huge. I mean, I didn't know the idea of subscriptions with car washes, but hey, there it is.
Yeah. Dollar Shave Club. That was fantastic too. Here we go. We're going to open up the worms. We've got 12 minutes left. So I wanted to save this for last because I really want to get your feedback on this. According to reports out there on the interwebs, July 6th is when Facebook Meta / Instagram launches Threads, which is their Twitter competitor. Couple things. One, do we think it's going to be a hit? And two, WTF with the brand of Threads? Is this a problem for us? Is it an opportunity? Is it even a fight Cal wants to take on? Do we care? I'd love to get your thoughts on this, sir.
Will it be a success? I'm sure. I mean, listen, Zuckerberg, the advantage Zuckerberg has is he has all these people 45 and older on his platform. And, Facebook has a bazillion older people. They also have a huge following with Instagram. He does very well with Instagram, which that actually does target the younger crowd and
right.
the 20-somethings. So, you look at the Facebook family, there's like 3 billion of them, 2.5, 3 billion users. So the simple numbers mean that anything remotely useful that they bring out will be successful. Um, so yes, I think it'll work. Is it going to destroy Twitter? No. Uh, is it a data grab? Yes, because now you'll have all these people using content just like people have been using Twitter, and that'll be more stuff on there that Zuckerberg will feed into his machine learning engines. So I think from that standpoint, it will be successful. Will it knock Twitter off the mantle? I don't think so. I tend to think Elon's moving quicker, moving in different directions, and Elon's going to do some things that Zuckerberg isn't. So ultimately, I can see Twitter actually sucking the Web 2 value into Twitter and away from the other platforms. Now, in terms of threads, our Leo threads, it's great. I mean, it's like they're the bigger fish. So let's piggyback off them, and people make the mistake and say, hey, I'm using threads. Yeah, come on over and use threads. And it's like, they think it's Facebook threads. Who cares? We're so small with any of this, John. I mean, Hive's so small. It's like we're off the radar on everything. So I don't think at this point it's any big deal. I mean, we don't even have most people on Hive using threads, let alone, we don't have 250,000, let alone 2.5 billion. So I don't think there's really much of a problem or an issue at this point. Maybe down the road you do go for a name change if you want. I don't, but
so you'd say like right now, capture the audience you can. Oh yeah, try out threads, our threads, and then maybe rebrand down the road.
Yeah, it's like, if people end up here by mistake, it's like, so be it. It's like it's like when you rank, it's like when you rank in Google on a word that's misspelled, like blockchain, and you forgot the C, and so BLOK chain, and you rank, and everybody who spells the word wrong ends up on your site. It's like it's traffic. It's there. People
threads
see
with
it.
a Z.
Well, then you got a different name, and that's something very interesting too. Talk about an interesting idea, but so again, if we were a big fish, then you have some problems. But this is decentralization, so I mean, people taking names. I mean, Hive took names from Hive blockchain. I mean, we didn't take it from them, but we had the same name, and they got pissy about it. They had it since 1987, so. Yeah. I'd imagine they get a little pissy, but what could you do at the end of the day? And
I found it funny because I mentioned on Threads earlier this morning that I was driving to work, and on the radio, the talk radio station in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, I heard the words Twitter, Threads, and Hive Social. And like, I know it was nothing that we're doing, but to hear that was kind of like part of me was like, damn you bastards, do you know what you're really missing out on? And then the other part was going like, as a marketing angle, I can see, so I just, it's like Neo said in chat right there, it's being Googled right now, like Threads, social media, Threads, Twitter, all of that stuff. Those are terms that are being heavily searched. This is an opportunity, I think. Big time.
Yeah, you piggyback off of it.
Yes.
You simply piggyback off of it. And if at a certain point in time you get the cease and desist letter, but again, who are they going to send a cease and desist letter to? Right. I don't know.
Well, even if they took it to court, wouldn't Leo be able to say, well, we've been having this is ours, we used this way before you guys announced anything?
Yeah, but who do you take to court? Who's in charge? I mean, it's easy to point to Cal, but it's like, I asked him one time how many developers are in the United States of his, and he said 0. So I don't know who's behind what. I don't know what's registered where. I don't know who has the URL. I don't know who has any of this stuff. So,
Right.
all of a sudden, if Facebook start investigating, it could be some dude in Bangladesh. Um, you know,
Yeah.
that's the problem with this stuff. I mean, it's like one of the things that's going on with Leo ads that Cal mentioned on AMA, was simply the fact that the smart contract has to be designed where the money is not touched by anybody. So it comes in from the advertising company, from Coinzilla or Google or whoever, and the smart contract takes whatever it is, Bitcoin or whatever, throws it out there, swaps it, and does everything with no human interaction, because now it's just a smart contract running that aspect of the show. And
Right.
so I wouldn't be surprised if Cal's been doing a lot of stuff like that all along. I've been talking about, you just can't have your name on stuff. You can't be tied to stuff. And, if that's the case, then ultimately, like you said, if they drag somebody into court, who the hell are you going to drag into court? A smart contract, you can't drag a smart contract into court. Well, where's the smart contract resident on? Oh, well, that's on Binance. Oh, good luck pulling them in. Okay,
Yeah,
go
right.
find CZ and hunt him down. He'll tell you to screw off too. It's just that this is where you get the legalities of Web3 versus the present system.
Web2.
And
Right.
I think there's going to be a whole lot of intellectual property issues and stuff like this. And, you get DAOs going, you get all this other stuff. It's going to be a nightmare for the legacy system to figure out. And, I think there's going to be a lot of instances where they end up like Hive Blockchain saying, oh, wait, we can't do anything.
Can't do anything. Yeah. We'll just pretend that we're going to send these letters, but we have no one to send to. So
no address.
Yeah.
What happens if you have a DAO that's, the tokens are owned by people in Venezuela and Malaysia and Nigeria and Cuba and Ghana and some in the US and some in Canada and some in the EU. And they're all, what do you do?
Yep.
What do you do? It's like, how do you do it? And the tokens are run on decentralized chains. What do you do? As Speak Network gets their smart contracts going, somebody spins up a DAO token on that, and it's tied to a project, and it's a governance token for that project. What do you do? How do you sue it? You can't. Who owns it? Don't know.
Billy down the street.
Tokens? I don't know. Who the hell's tokenized society? I have no idea.
A guy who drinks Heineken.
Yeah, it's like, you don't know you don't even know where some of these people are. It's like, good luck on that. So for now, I just say piggyback it. If Zuckerberg wants to take the name and promote it and put it in everybody's mind that Threads equals Twitter.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like he's doing the work for us.
Love it. Great show, man. A reminder that Thursday we got Manu Photos, the mind behind Hive Cuba. He will be with us, return guest, so that will be exciting. Make sure to tune in for that. And that means that you guys are on your own for questions until next Tuesday. Can you manage? I hope so.
You'll want to we'll do a threadcast, 3% chance, maybe 5% that I'll remember the image.
Right. Perfect.
But we'll also have a threadcast to drop questions for Manny.
Perfect. There you go. Guys, have a great evening, and we'll see you on Thursday.